Hi guys, welcome back. Now in the previous video what we learned is about health. We learned what is health, we learned what are the factors affecting health, and we also learned how we can maintain our health, right? In today's video we are going to learn about diseases. We will see what is disease, what are the different types of diseases, or we will see what are the different types of diseases or various diseases in humans. Okay, now let's begin. Disease. What is disease? Disease is a condition or it is a state in which one or more organs are adversely affected, showing some signs and symptoms. Okay. Now, disease is a state in which one or many organs may be adversely affected, showing certain signs and symptoms. Now, then we say that a person is not healthy or he is suffering from a disease. Okay, now what is this? We come across these two words, signs and symptoms. Now, what is the signs and symptoms? Now, usually people tend to use them as synonyms, but there is a difference. Now, symptoms are those things which are experienced by that individual who is suffering from a disease. Okay, for example, if somebody is suffering from a disease, say a fever, okay, now he may have headache as well. Okay, so that is a symptom. If you are suffering from stomach ache, that stomach ache is a symptom. We do not know what is the underlying cause. Okay, that is a symptom. It is experienced by the individual himself. Whereas signs are the evidences of the disease. For example, if a person is suffering from some skin disease, he will get a skin rash. Now that skin rash is a evidence, it is a sign. Or a person who is coughing, it is a sign of a disease. Now here symptoms, now two different diseases can have similar symptoms. For example, if I have to tell you, it is typhoid or malaria. In both the cases we may see that the person is experiencing fever. Okay, whereas we have to be sure about the kind of disease. Now, symptoms do not tell us that it is this disease itself, whereas signs do tell us because these are the evidences. Broadly, diseases are classified into two main types. The first one is infectious diseases. And the second one is non-infectious diseases. So diseases are classified broadly into two main types, infectious diseases or non-infectious diseases. On the other side I have written again different types of diseases. We'll come to them, or we will see that they also belong to these two major types itself. Okay, so what is this infectious diseases, or there is another name for this, or we call them as communicable diseases. Now, infectious diseases are those diseases which spread from one person to another person. For example, right now we are experiencing this corona. Now, this spreads from one person to another person. Other example is cough. It can spread from one person to another person. Cold, it can spread from one person to another person. Now, these are communicable diseases or infectious diseases. What causes these diseases is another topic. We will be looking that into the next video. But right now, these infectious diseases, these are the diseases which are transmitted from one person to another person. The second one, non-infectious diseases, or we may say non-communicable diseases. The another name for that is non-communicable. Now these are the diseases which do not spread from one person to another person. Okay, now in this case we may see that the disease is not spreading from touch or by sharing of certain things or by sharing some common things. Okay, so these are non-communicable or non-infectious diseases. What are the causes and what are these different types, we will see further. Now again, if we have to look for further types, again we have the first one is congenital diseases. What is this congenital diseases? Those diseases which were present right from birth or before birth. They were there before birth itself. Now we call them as congenital diseases. For example, some genetic disorders, say Klinefelter syndrome, Down syndrome, these are the congenital diseases. There is some problem with the chromosomes or sharing of the chromosomes or defect in the genes, and the person suffers from these diseases. Now again, these are non-communicable or non-infectious. Okay, as I was telling you that these are also coming under these two categories. Okay, the next one is acquired diseases. Now these acquired diseases are nothing but those diseases which the person acquires after the birth. Now there may be different causes for these diseases, but the person will get them after their birth. They are not present before birth. Okay, what are the examples then? We may say fever, we may say cough, or there are various other diseases which are acquired. Okay, again the third kind is infectious diseases. These are the kind of diseases which are caused by certain pathogens which are infectious in nature, whether it is fungal disease, whether it is bacterial disease, whether it is because of some worms. These are infectious diseases. We have eaten something wrong, we have come in contact with some pathogens, they have entered our body and we have got infected. Now such diseases we call them as infectious diseases. The next kind what we see here is deficiency disease. Now what are these deficiency diseases? Deficiency diseases are those diseases which are caused by the deficiency in some kind of nourishment. Now when we were learning about the health, we saw that to maintain good health we have to have good food, or we need to eat a complete food, a complete diet, right? So if we are not eating complete food or complete diet, we may experience these deficiency diseases. For example, goiter or kwashiorkor. Now these are the deficiency diseases. The next one is degenerative diseases. Now the name itself says degenerative. With age we can experience these diseases. For example, hypertension or arthritis. As the person becomes old and old enough, we experience this degenerative diseases. Allergies. Now these are something which are already which we may have experienced in one way or the other. Some people have soap allergies, some people have allergies of certain kind of oils, some people have pollen dust allergies, which I learned in the previous year as well, okay, or the previous chapter as well. Allergies. Now these are also diseases. The next one is mental disorder. Now mental disorder are those diseases where a person suffers from some kind of anxiety. He has a fear of, say, height, or say water, or say we may say he is not very comfortable in crowd. Okay, so these are some kind of diseases related to the mental stress or anxiety we may call, or mental disorders. Occupational diseases, the last kind what we have noted here is where the person is exposed to certain kind of occupational hazards like the dust particles in the mining industry or in the road construction industry. They may suffer from asthma. Now these are occupational diseases. Apart from that, we see there is AIDS and cancer. Now AIDS and cancer. AIDS is an infectious disease where it can spread from one person to another person, communicable disease, right? Whereas cancer, it is a non-communicable disease. There is one more disease we can say where the person is getting addicted. Okay, we may write addiction. There is drug addiction, there is alcohol addiction, right? Yes. So all these are different types of diseases which we have classified, but again these different types come in these two categories itself, infectious and non-infectious diseases. So I hope this is clear that what is diseases, what are different types of diseases, what is the difference between signs and symptoms, and different types of diseases or various diseases also we have seen in this class. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. Thank you.